Hey Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is your April 2023 tarot reading. Let's get into it. Alright. We have the Fool crossed by the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Swords, Five of Wands, the Six of Cups, the Devil, the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Empress, the Four of Swords, and the Magician. You have a new way about you coming in, Taurus. Oh. Hold on one second. I forgot something. I hope you can hear me. How's that? Is it better? I hope I didn't hurt anybody's ears. Okay. I was saying, Taurus, for April 2023, you have a new way about you. There's something new about your physical person, maybe. There's some sort of starting something. I feel like you're moving, or you're hoping to move. A leap of faith is being taken presently. And it's probably due to some sort of ending that's come in. There could have been a lot of arguing in the past that eventually led to a kind of ending of a relationship of some kind. And this, I don't have, the only Cups card I have here is the Six of Cups. Give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Taking a step forward, maybe with less than you started with, or feeling maybe a little bit like you have less than you started with. Whatever this ending was, it was keeping you up at night, or it has been keeping you up at night. There's a lot of stress and anguish that came of this. You feel like you can't sleep, maybe, that there's trouble. You're having anxiety. Your mental state right now is being, very anxious. And I see in the past there was some sort of competition or arguing, battle of wills that might have led up to this point. You were tired of fighting, maybe, and something finally came full circle, and now you're starting over fresh. So there's an ending that is responsible or probing you into a new beginning. And this also could have to do with a way of thinking, because I see that the ending is like you're mentally done with something. You've had enough of something. You no longer want to be stressed out about something, or something that was stressful has now climaxed, and as now there's a new beginning. What you were unaware of is, or what your subconscious is, the energies of that are memories of the past, nostalgia, remembering something better than it is, or maybe deep down you've been wanting to go back to a place of the past, maybe back home to your childhood location or locations. Somebody also could have had if it's something you're unaware of, you might have been unaware somebody had a child, or you might have been unaware that there might be something from your past that has been causing you anxiety and stress, but you don't remember it, or excuse me, let me have a sip of coffee here. You don't remember it, or you idealize the past. You idealize the past, even though you don't know you are. It's a comparison of, subconsciously you're comparing things to the past. I don't have anything other than excuse me. Oh my goodness, Taurus, I'm sorry. There is something that is ended, an ending that is springing you forward into a new beginning. You're feeling a little bit torn up about it, or thinking pretty negatively about it. In the past, there was some arguing. This could have been what the betrayal or ending has led up to, or it has come from. And what you're not aware of is you'll remember this moment this is a pivotal part in your journey. This ending had to happen so that you could take a step forward in some new direction. And it is going to be a time that you remember. In the near future, I see you being more restricted or committed to something. There's a temptation. It might be tempting to go back to the past and be nostalgic of the past. This could have to do with repeating cycles. If this has to do with you felt stuck somewhere. I don't have the 8 of Swords anywhere, but I think you felt stuck somewhere. There's a push and a pull with these two major arcana cards. There's like a wanting to be free, carefree and wild. And then but this is another wild card. This is also wild. But it's a different kind of wild. There's an order to the chaos with the Devil. And with the Fool, it's like childlike wonder. But this is the dark side of being free. Because it's like no one's ever really free. I'm getting that. I don't know why. There's always something, there's some sort of attachment in the future. You feel, in the near future, you feel attached to something. Which may be making you feel restricted in some sort of way. This also is commitment. There's a commitment here. I'm getting something about maybe there's been an ending to something. You're free now because if it's a romantic relationship, there was an ending, and it's made you feel a little more carefree and light. You might have been arguing in the past with somebody, but now you're stressing over the fact that there may be a child involved in the situation that you aren't aware of, or that you weren't aware of. Or maybe and that's what the attachment will be, is that there will be some sort of, you will be connected or corded to this past relationship, or because there's another person involved that you're responsible for. That could be it too. Yeah, I see this like the Fool is like unadulterated. Not adulting versus being bound by commitments. With the Devil, there's wild between both of them. It's almost like it could have to do with your mental state, that you're stuck in a cycle that's mentally keeping you from being able to move forward, and maybe it's about trauma. It could be about because you might be unaware that your past is affecting you mentally. That your past could be actually causing you to repeat certain cycles, or that for some reason the past is not letting you go in some sort of way. There could have been an argument in the past that's made you feel guilty, or made you feel like you had to be responsible, that you were responsible for something. Somebody else might have made you feel responsible, or you might feel responsible for the relationship ending, and you trying not to think about the past, but there is some sort of connection to it that's keeping you in bondage. There's some sort of it's also authority. This could be getting into an argument with somebody that you've known since childhood and being worried that they're going to throw you under the bus for something. This can also be institutionalization. If you've been having some mental health issues or someone you know that you've been in conflict with or kind of bound to in some sort of way, this could be them being committed for a certain period of time. There is a new beginning, though. A new beginning that is more structured. There's a routine that's being instilled. You might have been free for a long time with something, and that freedom is now ending. And you're in the past you've been very conflicted, or there was a lot of competition or something, and then in the future there is some sort of regiment. There's authority that's saying this is the way it needs to go. I'll get clarity in a minute just so I can get a little more further detail with this, because there's a lot of ways it can go. Not wanting to share the past with other people. You might be unaware that you've not wanted to get intimate with other people. You're afraid of getting intimate. This is also fear. This is also fears as well. You fear being tied down for some reason or stuck in a contractual situation. You want the freedom. All right. Your advice is to really analyze a situation or analyze your financial situation or your career situation. Get a skill or work on your craft that you already do in order to maybe free yourself up and create more opportunities for yourself. This can also be a boss that was a challenge at a job, somebody who is very authoritative, somebody who's very strict about something, and there might be some rules or regulations. Some sort of fighting that led to an ending, which also is probed you into a new beginning. There's some sort of fear, temptation, maybe a temptation to go back to the past. Maybe in the near future you'll be tempted to go backwards instead of forwards, and that's what it's talking about. Your advice is to really work hard at refining something, getting something organized, in order, getting your finances in order to maybe break free, make a clean break. People see you in this situation as being somebody who's very sexual, very attractive. And I say this not just because of the Queen of Wands, but the Empress is not that far away. And she is you, Taurus. She is ruled by Venus, and she rules Taurus and Libra. So your energy is here, and there's a lot of attraction and sexuality. She's an influencer. She knows how to manifest and create what she wants. She has influence on other people. That's why she's often seen as the witch of the tarot. She manifests, she creates things. She's a trendsetter. And she's very popular. People are seeing you in as a very popular, like flaunty, kind of flirty. You know, people know when the Queen of Wands enters a room. Everyone turns to stare at her. She's that kind of energy. People are very attracted to you at this time. You are seen as very attractive by other people. Because the devil's nearby, and I do read reversals, but I really make sure not to let my cards flip over that much. I'd really take the time to not, and if it happens, then I definitely read them in reversal. But I have a feeling that people might be a little bit jealous or envious of you. For your beauty, for your what you do for work, and she's also seen as promiscuous sometimes. So there's this element of a brazen sexuality, someone who's not ashamed of putting themselves out there, very confident. Probably a little bit overtly confident, or some people might say arrogant. But with the devil nearby, I feel like there might be a kind of a reining back of that. There might be some rules about something that's come up. It might have to do with how you express yourself or your image in some sort of way at work. I don't know why that's coming through. What you're hoping to do, you're hoping to get the hell out, to move. If this is this could be also an unappealing sex life as well, because I have the Nine of Swords up here, and literally the guy's laying up at night with his hands in his head, like stressing over something, and below the surface, in that scorpionic area, we have the Six of Cups, which is also a very intimate and sexual card. So this is about sharing intimacy. So there's sexual frustration, maybe. you might be receiving some sort of gift spiritually, and it might come in a dream of some kind, or you might have a nightmare that actually has a significant meaning in it that might not be as bad as you think or as it felt. There might be something important in that. You might be worried about this new beginning because of this, that you're just stressing about it. You're dreaming of the past as well. Could be actually dreaming of the past, having dreams about people of the past, relationships of the past, places you've been in your life. This can also be a nightmare that happens over and over again, a recurring dream. Try to look up the meaning of it in dream interpretation book or online, or don't just stick to one source. Whatever feels more comfortable for you, whatever resonates more with you with that. Some sort of visitation while you sleep as well. Could be a passed on loved one. I don't have the death card anywhere, so I don't know if it's that. Innovation. Innovation versus tradition. That's what your first pair of arcanas is saying. There's something rebellious here, and then there's, I fight the authority, and authority always wins kind of situation with the devil card. The devil card is the tradition of how we do things, right? It's the order of how we do things. It's structure. It's there, but then right here, your advice is to go traditional, to implement your rebellious spirit in a way that works within the bounds of what you're doing. Get organized. I mean, this person here is creating these pentacles. Sure that he's making them all the same, but he might not be doing it the same way, or maybe something that a way that you've been doing something on your own, carefree. Now they're bringing in some sort of rules. If this has to do with your career, there might be some new legislation, new contracts, new things that are put in place that are boundaries of some kind. And so your freedom might feel a little restricted, and it's not the end of your freedom completely, but I feel like whatever is being implemented here is keeping you up at night. You're unable to share your most intimate self with somebody else. You're unaware that you're unable to share your most intimate self with somebody else. The past might be holding you back in some way with that. Innovation versus tradition. Your advice is to get things in order. Finances, get your skill or trade refined, edit things, go over things, analyze things. Make sure that things are as they should be or are up to a certain par. People see you as being somebody who is very attractive, an influencer of some kind. The air cards have to do with communication and thinking. There's an end to the way you've been communicating, maybe with something that's causing a new beginning. Maybe you're mentally getting a little stressed over that somehow. You will be moving forward, or you hope to move forward in a situation. You're moving away from restrictions, like you don't want to be restricted anymore by something, whether that's a boss, an authority of some kind. There's some sort of moving out of boundaries, moving beyond boundaries as well, trying to break the boundaries with the Fool card. There's a breaking of the rules here that causes an ending as well. You hope to move out of the turmoil or the restrictions into a more carefree type situation, maybe. This could also be if you are somebody who lives in a country or a place that is tumultuous in some sort of way, there's war going on or something. This could be immigration. This could also be having to do with refugee scenarios. Dictator, wanting more freedom. In the past, quarrels, war. Although this is not the best depiction of war, right? This is more of sparring and practicing. There's a practicing here as well in the past. So this could be the end of thinking that you're still at the start of something as well. You're very anxious because you are a perfectionist at something. In your mind, deep down, you still think you're at a past stage that you used to be, but now in the future you'll be considered an authority on whatever. In the near future you'll be considered an authority on it. So it's like you're beating yourself up over something that this is somebody who's very hard on themselves. Whatever it is, you hope to move forward out of the stress and competition or fighting or strain, and move away from restrictions and boundaries and maybe toxicity of some kind. Moving into more peaceful mental state, calmer waters. You might actually physically want to make a move because this is a situation that's been happening in a relationship of some kind where you live together or share a space together. In the future, the distant future, not so distant future, I should say, um, we have you in your element, being able to birth anything into creation because you have mastered the four elements. Your practicality, your discernment, your what's the word I'm looking for? Empathic abilities, and your creativity and your will all come together in order for you to master the energies around you to make things move in your life and grow. Very witchy vibes. I've got the Devil, I've got the Queen of Wands, and I've got the Empress and the Magician. If you aren't somebody who practices some sort of spiritual alternative, I say alternative in quotes, spiritual practice, then the Devil can also be about protection. I was going to say then I don't know. But the Devil can also be about protection. And because it's boundaries, right? You may have been having some bad dreams and had to put some sort of protection, like dream protection, like a, what do you call it? What's that movie? The movie, the Stephen King book that was made into a movie, Dream something. I cannot get that out of my mouth. Oh my gosh. I should know what this is. Dreamcatcher. Oh my gosh. Something like that, where you're putting in some protection in your home, some sort of boundaries that you're laying down. I just see that you're working on something, and this comes up as a pentagram, right? A pentacle. That's a protection. Putting your protections in order, analyzing things. That could be something that you guys are doing. That's the magical side of it, is what I'm seeing, though. But there's also this need to rest. There's this meditative there's abundance and rest. There's a very luxurious kind of something comes easier afterwards, after you make a move. There are no bounds to the Empress's abilities to create. Like nature always finds a way to grow through the concrete in some way, right? Eventually time wears it down, which the Devil represents time. Time wears it down, the concrete, or whatever, the metal jungle, whatever context you want to look at it, and nature will prevail. It will grow through a crack in the sidewalk. So I think your creativity, whether you choose to take it somewhere else, or your rebellious nature, whether you choose to take it somewhere else or stay put within the confines of the devil, of that restriction, that authority that's being put down on your situation, you will be able to take some time off in some sort of way in between just stating what you're going to bring into the world after this point. So the magician is very powerful. The Queen of Wands knows her power and uses it to influence other people. The Empress is infinitely abundant and lives in the lap of luxury and enjoys all that she births into existence, all that she creates. There's a taking a time out after pregnancy, after giving birth. There's in meditating in order to get clear on what we want to manifest next in our lives. So there's a push and a pull between innovation, rebelliousness, and tradition and restriction. And then there's this abundance that we end up being able to obtain somehow by taking a time out, by getting quiet and kind of getting some structure. Oh, I did say that. I did say there are no fours on the table. This is about maybe moving home. Because I do have the Four of Wands. Anytime I have a four, it can be about home. You're thinking about maybe a place that you used to live in the past, and you're really getting your resources together in order to make a move or to birth some sort of, you might be going back home for a while in order to regain your strength and to recuperate, and then you'll push forward with what you want to manifest, to where you want to be. You will take it to the next level. The Devil and the Empress. Yeah, boundaries of creation, restrictions with creation. There's a loophole. I'm hearing loophole. Like you can still do something, but you just have to figure out a way around it. And the magician, he knows how to use everything to his advantage. And the devil and the magician, that can be almost a magically dangerous combo. That is a master manipulator, somebody who has authority, who's able to get what he wants by breaking the rules. The Fool being there, that's the rule breaker, right? The Fool is the rebel. But it seems like you figure out a way to still be abundant. I think you take some time off and maybe get clear on what you're thinking you're wanting to create for yourself from this point on, and how you can do it. You might have to move in order to manifest what you want, or you might have to manifest a move. if this has to do with a rebellious child of some kind, or there's something stubborn. The devil's a stubborn card. It could have to do with a child that's broken the rules. There's been some arguing in the past, conflict. The devil can be an institution as well, so maybe if you have a child that's, your kid has been suspended from school, or there's a suspension of some kind. This could be a license suspension of some kind. This is also routine beauty treatments. It's feng shui as well, because it's about defining the parameters of things in a more aesthetically pleasing way that's to the senses. You might be literally needing to just redo your bedroom over because you're having a hard time sleeping. Move things around. It might help you to get a better night's rest. And maybe a change will do you good. That's another thing that I'm hearing. That song by Sheryl Crow. I love that song. I'm going to put that on right after your reading's over. Whatever restrictions you have that are create about what you have to create, or your projects you're trying to birth into place, whatever parameters there are with that, you're going to take the time out. You're going to get clear and rested about before you go forward and do your magic to make the situation better, to move, to manifest something that you can create within the context of what's allowed by authority, authority above you. I don't see authority holding too much power over your creativity, though, unless you are the authority on it. If you're in the business of any kind of beauty industry, this is also spirituality and having to do with herbs and manifestation and meditation. The Fool and the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords can be a dark night of the soul. Having come out of a dark night of the soul, kind of like fresh new slate. So whatever depression you are currently going through, you might feel restricted because of some sort of ending that's happened in your life, and something just doesn't work anymore, or didn't work, and there might be restrictions on something to do with your life in the future, or you might be the one putting the restrictions down, because this can be like somebody who puts restrictions in place within a restricting the senses as well. So if you have had a surgery, like say you had some issues with your eyesight or something, cataracts, bad vision, something to do with your eyes, then I see you taking the time to in the future to go to an authority on this matter. This might be a cosmetic thing. You might just have bad vision and not want to wear glasses anymore, and so you're going to an authority that deals with the surgery aspect of beauty. Like, so you're getting your eyes fixed. You're pulling together your resources in order to, you're just going to need to take some time off too, probably, if you do this. Because I do have the Fool, and the Fool is Aries, and Aries rules the head, right? And I got somebody holding their eyes here, covering their eyes. I have this. This often represents somebody actually having a surgical procedure because it's piercing the body, okay? This is like fast movement and kind of blurred, kind of confusing energies together, so I can see that as like vision issues from the past. What you're not able to see or you don't understand is you saw better back then. Capricorn is the structure of things, it's authority, it's career as well. So if this is not about you going through this, you might actually become an ophthalmologist, an optician, somebody who deals with also deprivation of senses as well, a deprivation tank. Whatever it is, you're moving into abundance and relaxation. And that's because your will, you demand it, you manifest it into place. All right, so now, Taurus, I'm going to go house to house. So first house, you might be doing something different with your head. You either getting rid of your glasses somehow because of the surgery thing, a LASIK or whatever. There's something about your head that you're going to physically be doing new. Whether it's new shades, no glasses, piercings of the ears, nose, mouth, different color hairstyle, actually more so cutting of the hair. So maybe a much shorter hairstyle or yeah, so stuff like that. I do see that. You might, your face might look a bit younger all of a sudden. You might have actually, you might be having some sort of little bit of magic work done on your face to make you look much younger. If you're older and you feel like that's conflicts with time. A new face. That could be it. Second house, what you're valuing this ending. So whatever it is, you're putting your eggs in that basket. You're ready for whatever it is to be ending or to be over with so that you can move on with your life in some sort of regard. Your neighborhood this month might be absolutely insane when you try to sleep. There might be a lot of construction going on. There might be loud neighbors. There might be a lot of traffic or people playing loud music at night. Fighting in the streets that's keeping you up at night. So maybe get some earplugs or something and to see that. You might hear about a sibling or cousin or neighbor that's having an emotionally tough time. They might be going through some mental health stuff or very sad about or stressed out about something, and you might hear them crying at night or something like that. That comes through. Or they might be telling you about how they're thinking or how they're feeling. You might be worried about taking some sort of trip locally in your neighborhood, or you're just stressed out about something to do with your neighborhood at this time. Your home life, I see there being a lot of like happy memories or shared intimacy in the home. You could be more sexually active in the home this month. Or you might go visit a place you once called home. Siblings also comes up here as well. So this could have to do with a sibling that's going through something and you go to visit them at their home. Also, you might receive a gift. It could be flowers. It could be something in the mail at your house. You might not know who it comes from or be worried about it for some reason. I don't know why. Worried about, oh no, they got me a gift. Now I have to give them a gift. People are going to be competing for you sexually if you are on the market. Your attention. There's a lot of romantic. You might find that people are actually getting into an argument over you. There's a lot of competition for your attention in terms of romance or attraction. Also, sports. Sports. Some of you are playing combative sports or doing theater of some kind. There's some kind of interactive physical thing that you're doing for fun during this month period, Taurus. If you have a procedure done, you might feel, you might have some restrictions, obviously, from physical restrictions from having a procedure done. If you don't have a procedure done, make sure you be careful about your bones and your teeth. Just because you might be having some pain in your teeth, or maybe there's a chance you might hurt yourself by not watching where you step, slipping and falling, and having an injury of some kind. So just keep yourself as aware as you can. Not to worry anybody, but the Fool and the Ten of Swords is, I slipped, I tripped, and I cracked my shin or something, and now I have a brace on or something, because there's a restriction element here in the physical health. Day-to-day routine-wise, you will probably be developing a pretty regimented schedule. Either your work schedule will be very solid and concurrent, or even if it changes on a day-to-day, it will stay the same that day. So every Monday you'll work at 5. Every Tuesday you'll work at 9 in the morning. I mean, I would hate that would be awful. But anyway, jumping from first to third, that's terrible. But there is something that will be set up for you in a certain manner every day. There will be parameters of how your day will go. Um, you might feel like you want more freedom and want this to end, but it seems like for right now at this time in the near future, you will be having a very structured day. Yeah, like I said, with the health, bones and teeth are very important. You might want to go to the dentist if you have any problems with your teeth. Capricorn rules the teeth and the bones. Um, and the bones. And yeah, teeth, bones. What else? Yeah, there's something about the order in which you do something, Taurus. It's important to have a system down with what you do. If you're doing if you're practicing a skill set or showing off a trade, you might actually want to structure something in order to like really write down the steps it takes to do something. Um, there's an analyzation of how you do things. So maybe you've just been doing something so long and maybe you get tired of doing it the same old way, and then you really analyze how you do it and write it all down, and then you're like, okay, now I know what I do, so I can now analyze that in order to change something up. There's a needing to do something the same in order to change something. Or get like really familiarized with what you're doing in order to speed up the process, speed up production. Yes, so this is literally getting a system down to speed up production. I don't have the Eight of Wands, but I just know that that's what it is. Produce. You're guided to get really analytical and perfectionist and produce something. There's something that they want you to produce this month, period. And then an 8. So we talked about health and routine, and now we're going to talk about relationships. You might create something for somebody that you're involved with in a relationship, Taurus. I feel like if you already do some sort of metal work or something, you'll be making someone a pair of earrings, or you will be actively working on your relationships, really analyzing what other people need from you in partnerships this period. You will be kind of just, what do I want to say? Take the time to really figure people out in relationships. Maybe see what others need in regards to, or what you can bring to the table. You'll be very practical with other people. You might be showing somebody that you're partnered up with in some sort of way how to do something, or teaching them something, because you've gotten pretty good at it. That's so funny. I just heard that another one bites the dust. This could be like a notch in your belt as well in terms of relationships. You're like, and it's not necessarily in a negative way. I'm just getting like, all right, that's done. Check. Let's put this trophy on the wall. Another notch in my built type of thing. Those of you who work in lumber might be partnering up with somebody who's, or who work as a contractor might be partnering up with somebody who's a master carpenter of some kind, or learning carpentry from somebody that they know in their that they're in partnership with. Um, Again, with the home decor and feng shui stuff, there's a lot of analyzing, there's a lot of building here. If you build things for a living, that's another thing. The sixth house is about our work, right? What we do for our job. And with Capricorn near the Eight of Pentacles, you might be like building something, literally building a building. Building a building. You know what I mean? Construction. Um, you're really getting particular, you're really getting detailed. It might be almost tedious. And it might take a while to do. So to be in the near future, it might take a good amount of time to get this kind of detailed craftsmanship done. So make sure you allot yourself enough time. If you have any contracts people in terms of work, say you're doing contractor work on someone's house, make sure you give yourself ample time. It may take longer than you want it to, this project during this time, so don't overbook yourself. In 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Shared resources, mysteries. There's something about witchcraft and the occult here. This is also the dark side of famous life. This could be a detailed kind of expose on somebody who's famous, who's known to be a very wicked lady, that you end up watching or getting into. This is also an influencer that's involved in some sort of occult practice, or an influencer that is an actress on some sort of mystery show, or sci-fi, or spiritual fantasy type show. There's some sort of popular and powerful woman that will be involved in some sort of scandal, she would probably be in her, I want to say, mid 40s to up and up. I can't give a real age on that. I don't want to. It might not be like that necessarily that she's like a bad person, but she would probably be involved in something that might be looked at as taboo or underground in some sort of way. But she's getting popularity for this, or power for this, or exposed in some sort of way. There's an intimacy here that's a kind of a vulnerability, a mystery as well. this could also be if you are having some sort of procedure done on your eyes or on your face to look more youthful. This is the lady that will be performing that surgery. She's very flamboyant and fun and um, just flirts with life. You know, she's just very radiant and very influential and very confident. And that's what you want. You want somebody who's very confident in what they're doing. This lady knows her stuff. Sorry, oh my goodness. I hope I didn't lose you. Okay, good. This lady knows her stuff. You might share something with this lady, whether it's a physical space. Maybe you move out of one space because something ends, a contract ends, or a roommate situation, betrayal goes badly, and then you end up moving in with her. She'll get you out and socializing again, don't worry. She might actually keep you up at night because she's a fun party girl. And that doesn't mean like in a bad way. She might actually push you to get out of your funk if you get into one this month, Taurus. This is also a sex symbol. She is a sex symbol. I did talk about sex before down here. We might hear more about a sex symbol that's involved in a scandal. I wonder what. Yeah, sex work for money. There might be, I want to say, what is it? Being a rebel ends because there's a formality put to something that was taboo once in terms of sexuality. So there probably will be more restrictions put in place for we might hear about certain states like going anti-abortion, I believe. Not that I want to get into the politica of that. I'm just stating what I'm seeing. Yeah, I feel like we might hear about people breaking the law in certain places with having regards to that and authority cracking down on them. And those places that are enforcing those kind of restrictions. Also, I get the feeling that like either something to do with the sex industry, there's something that comes in and causes more restrictions for sex workers or the adult film industry, or there's some sort of restrictions put in place in terms of routine health things that have to do with the adult industry of some kind. This could have to do with testing, routine testing. They're either starting a new procedure that's they're getting innovative with their procedures for this. They're getting some sort of new test that helps identify things better or faster, or a more wide spectrum of disorders of some kind. But going back to her, there's something about the sex industry here. Anyway, I'm moving on from that. This could just be a popular actress who's a sex symbol who will be in a scandal. Something like that. All right. Now, you will be traveling. You will be moving. Traveling, moving, those are on the table for you. You'll be changing your beliefs. You'll be moving from one belief system into another one that's more fitted for you, that's more, brings you more peace of mind and spirit. You might be taking a vacation abroad because you just can't stand certain regulations that have been put in place at work. You might be like, oh, it's the perfect time to take my PTO and my sick time and my vacation time. There's something about this, also this 6 here. You may be going back to a place that you visited in the past that is abroad or at a far distance from you. It could be like where you grew up, like you might have been born in another country or been raised in another country, and now you're going back there, but you're having to cross over borders again to get back over there. You might be going to visit your past at a distance. This is also being in this house right here, this placement. This is Akashic Records. You might have a nightmare where you like feel it's super real, and it's because you've lived it. It's like a memory of the past. It's a revisiting of the past. So like you're like, damn, where'd that come from? If you'll get that weird feeling, like a deja vu feeling, but like you'll have been actually dreaming, and then you'll wake up and it might be like, whoa, that was intense. It might be past life recollection. Excuse me. I think this will be the last video I do tonight, guys. I'm going to try to do another one, but I don't know. All right, so 7, 8, 9. Leaving, if you are an immigrant or a refugee, I see you leaving behind a dictatorship of some kind, some war, something. It just that's coming up again. I also see moving, hoping to move somewhere more beautiful. Maybe a garden wall. A garden wall. I don't know why that's coming up. Over the garden wall, that cartoon. I don't know. Maybe that's something you want to check out. I like it. It's cute. Um, the boundaries of nature. Landscaping? This could be literal landscaping. Taking all of the elements and gathering. This is gathering natural medicine. This is, I'm trying to get this to not mess up. Okay. This is gathering of natural medicine. This is building an oasis for yourself that you create from the elements that surround you. So this could be like literally going into, you move into a new house and you're building setting up the backyard, putting a hammock up, putting boundaries up where you want your plants to be, and taking plants out, because there's some refining, there's some this is also restrictions on females. This is like authority coming down on the feminine population in some way. I already talked about that earlier, so I really don't want to. But this is also this is bondage as well. Bondage, sexual prowess. The devil is like the captor, the tamed, and the empress is like Persephone to me, or Demeter, excuse me. It's like Persephone's mother, and I'm getting that whole story again. I got that last round of readings. It's like Hades and Persephone chained together in the underworld, and Capricorn is the winter, right? At least in the part of the world that I am in. And so now we're moving. It's going to be, the weather is going to be weird. We have winter and spring, or yeah, so it's just going to, one day is just going to be like, boom. I hear rest to manifest. Rest to manifest. Meditating, watching your thoughts as well, Taurus, in order to, because you might have a very gestative manifestation abilities at this time. So they may, or you might be very fecund with mental power at this time. You might be able to birth your thoughts into existence, so be very careful with restricting yourself or clearing out toxic thoughts. This is also weeding, like, either of the mind itself or a weeding out in order to birth new things into existence, and taking the time to mentally prepare yourself for what you're about to manifest. which could be moving, migrating, moving. After change, there's changes. There's new beginnings. There's endings. Um, your career, you're either looking really beautiful and powerful to other people, um, because your reputation and how other people are seeing you are the Queen of Wands and the Empress, and that's a lady who's just banging. Like, she's gorgeous, and she's got everything. Just even when her hair's messy, she's gorgeous. She's just wild beauty, like just abundant beauty. Very, very sexually attractive to everybody. Just great energy. An influencer and somebody who's producing something. So I hear listening as well. So this could be like, if you're like a music producer, or you produce some sort of music of some kind, this being something that is going on for some reason. I'm getting that. It's just feel like you're listening to something and analyzing. You're like, maybe in a studio, you're like laying down on a couch, like listening to how something sounds, but like really analyzing it at the same time. There's also a restfulness and a vacation type energy to these cards here. So I don't have the sun anywhere, but there is some sort of taking a trip to enjoy nature and relax. So that could happen to Taurus. Your friends will be quiet. Somebody might go quiet or ghost you this month. That's a friend. I don't know if they're necessarily doing it on purpose. They might be recovering from some sort of emotional battle of some kind, or some breakup of some kind, or this is you taking time to recuperate after having some sort of procedure done or something, so you're not as active with your social circle, or maybe you're needing to put up some boundaries in order to regenerate, because you're in that kind of phase of getting ready to birth some sort of major manifestation into existence, which could be physical or metaphorical. There's recuperation here. If you have lost any associates at your job due to some competition, or betrayal that happened, or competition, you will be recuperating those losses. There is this you're just spiritually manifesting at this time, like your 12th house, having the magician there. Either you have an unknown enemy that is just super manipulative and kind of hiding very well from you, which I would like to think not. You're the bull, so you're not gonna give two sweats about it, right? I feel like you're just manifesting spiritually at a higher frequency, or you're operating at a higher frequency. You're seeing the magic happen in the spirit world is communicating with you in some sort of way. You're either connecting to it through craft of some kind, like a practice, or you are just noticing the signs and synchronicities in your practical day-to-day life when you're going about trying to get from point A to point B. There's infinite possibilities. There's this kind of what was restrictive is now you're seeing things in a new, more spiritual light, and so you see the infinite possibilities of the universe has to bring to you, and all your resources have that you have practically to work with that can bring infinite possibilities to you. So again, it's magic is the you can't control how powerful you are right now. I don't think you could control how powerful you are, so be careful about what you're thinking. Take time out to regenerate yourself. And see things keeping you up at night. Your goals, what you are trying to manifest in your life, might actually be stressing you out or keeping your mind racing at night. You may very well need to learn when to shut off your mind. Here we have the Nine of Swords. Inability to relax, inability to sleep, right? Being kept up from stress and anxiety. And here we have the holistic mother of all the queens, right, put together into one. She's almost soothing the situation, allowing you to rest. You need to rest to be able to manifest. So it's super important for you to figure out how you're going to sleep. There is some sort of restriction that comes in with it's beauty sleep, right? You somehow managed to get to manifest some beauty sleep for yourself. You may have to talk to somebody who's an authority figure on let's see, that's you might talk to a health professional about this, about having insomnia. They might tell you to take some melatonin or something. I am not a medical professional. Do not take anything because I talk about it on here. You should always talk to your doctor first. I take melatonin. That doesn't mean you should take melatonin. It's a natural remedy for sleep. But I feel like there's something natural about whatever you do that's going to help you get some more rest or be able to have some more peace in your life. And I say peace because I have the Six of Swords and the Four of Swords, and those are both about striving for peace and taking a forced time out to regenerate after and recuperate after some trials in terms of your mental and emotional world. There is something, though, about restricting something that's causing you to be unable to stay up. So if you're drinking coffee too late in the day, switch to tea, switch to herbal tea. There's something here about just doing some small and simple little things, or putting something into a routine as well. So if you get into a workout routine or some kind of physical activity, it might actually help you sleep better. And even if there are distractions in in your local environment from construction or something, some wild stuff going on in your neighborhood. Um, just know that it'll clear up. You get the sleep you need, to get the rest you need, to regenerate. Whatever you're trying to get off the ground and working hard at, you will produce. It's saying produce, and then what do? It seems like you produce, you reproduce. There's a reproduction of something as well. You might be analyzing something in order to recreate it in some sort of way. This might be like a model of some kind, or a casting of some kind. There might be some kind of mold that needs to be made as well. All right, Taurus. You are manifesting what you want, even through the trials that you're going to go through this April period. I think that your reading was kind of hard last month, but this seems so much better. I know we have the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords, and the Devil, but it gets gravy throughout that. So I wish you the best of Aprils, and I will see you in May. Bye.